Stuttering, Angela Rayner gets mocked and called out in Parliament. It was a day like no other in the hallowed halls of Westminster. The air was thick with tension as MPs filed into the chamber, their faces etched with anticipation. The atmosphere was charged, an impending clash was brewing, and everyone knew it. Angela Rayner, the fiery deputy leader of the Labour Party, was preparing to address the House. But whispers of a scandal involving her recent public appearances had already begun circulating, and the stakes were high. Would this be the moment she faced the music? As Rayner took her place, the murmurs grew louder. Her recent stuttering during speeches had become a hot topic, drawing both sympathy and ridicule. Critics claimed she was unfit for leadership, supporters argued that her vulnerability made her relatable. But today, she was determined to silence her detractors. Little did she know, the opposition had a plan to undermine her at every turn. The speaker called the session to order, but the underlying tension was palpable. Questions loomed: would Rayner rise to the occasion, or would she falter under the pressure? As she stood to deliver her speech, everyone held their breath, waiting for a moment that would either redeem her or seal her fate. Rayner began confidently, her voice echoing through the chamber. Today, we must address the real issues facing our nation, but just as she gained momentum, her words stumbled. A slight pause, a fleeting moment that could be seen as a weakness. It was in this fragile instant that a member of the opposition seized the opportunity. Is this really the person we want leading us? A voice called out, laced with mockery. Laughter erupted from the government benches, a chorus of derision that echoed through the room. Rayner's face flushed, but she quickly regained her composure. Her supporters rallied, shouting words of encouragement. Would she let this mockery define her? With a deep breath, Rayner leaned into the moment. Yes, I stutter, she declared, her voice steady now. But what I will not tolerate is a culture that shames individuals for their differences. The chamber fell silent, a collective gasp resonating as she turned the tide of the conversation. Her vulnerability transformed into a weapon of empowerment. It was a powerful moment, one that drew the attention of not just her colleagues but also the public watching from home. But just when it seemed Rayner had regained control, another member of the opposition interrupted. You can't lead if you can't communicate. The jibe cut through the air like a knife, reigniting the laughter. Would her bold stance be enough to weather this storm? In a surprising pivot, Rayner shared a personal story that took the room by storm. I've struggled with my speech since childhood, she admitted, her voice quivering with emotion. But it's shaped who I am today. It's made me resilient, empathetic. The chamber, once filled with jeers, fell into a hushed reverence. Questions lingered: would her vulnerability resonate with the public? Would they rally behind her, or would the mockery continue? The emotional weight of her words hung in the air, creating a moment that felt monumental. Just as the mood began to shift, a new twist emerged. A senior member of the government unexpectedly stood up, seemingly to defend Rayner. We all have our struggles, he began, but the sincerity in his voice was overshadowed by whispers of a hidden agenda. Was this a genuine moment of solidarity, or a calculated move to undermine her further? As he continued, his words took an unexpected turn. But we must also consider competence in leadership. Gasps filled the chamber, and Rayner's expression shifted. Was this a betrayal from within? The tension tightened as the room braced for her response. Rayner, unyielding in her resolve, interrupted. Competence isn't measured by perfection, it's measured by courage. Her voice rang out, cutting through the chaos. The chamber erupted in applause, a wave of support that swept through her party. But the opposition wasn't done yet. As the session drew to a close, the speaker called for order, but the battle was far from over. This isn't just about one speech, Rayner concluded, her eyes blazing with determination. It's about the future of our country, and I won't back down. As the session adjourned, questions lingered in the air. How would this moment affect Rayner's political future? Would her bravery inspire a new wave of support, or would the opposition capitalize on this moment of vulnerability? With the spotlight now firmly on her, viewers were left wondering what would happen next in this ongoing saga of politics and personal struggle. As the story unfolded, one thing was certain: Angela Rayner was not done fighting. The next chapter awaited, and it promised to be even more riveting. Stay tuned for what comes next.